Have you ever had that strange feeling where you're drifting away from old friends, but you can't quite put your finger on why? It's this common, kind of confusing thing that happens. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the psychology behind why that happens, and believe it or not, why it might actually be a really good thing. Man, does that quote hit home for you? That feeling, it's not anger, there's no big fight. It's just this quiet sense of being done. It's this weird kind of social exhaustion that can make you feel super guilty or confused, especially when it's about friendships that used to be, the center of your universe.
And look, if you feel that way, here's the most important thing to hear. This is not a sign that you're a bad friend or that something is broken. Not at all. Psychology actually tells us it's a powerful signal that you are growing. Your brain, your values, your very identity, they're all evolving. And that's a very, very good thing.
So let's dive into the first big psychological reason this happens. It's a concept that I find absolutely fascinating, and it's called value drift. Okay, so what is value drift? Think of it like this. Your internal compass, the thing that guides you, just starts pointing in a new direction. The stuff that's truly important to you, maybe it's your career goals, your focus on health, or even just what you consider a good time on a Friday night, it all starts to shift. And this creates this subtle but really powerful gap between you and people who are still navigating with your old map. And here's how that drift actually shows up in real life. You might find that conversations that used to feel so deep and connected now just fall flat. They feel superficial. Or maybe you catch yourself not sharing your latest achievement or a new passion because you just know it won't be understood, or worse, it won't be celebrated. You literally start editing yourself around them, and that is a massive sign of that value mismatch. Okay, on to our second reason. This one shifts the focus from what's going on inside you to the dynamic of the friendship itself. It's all about the energy exchange, what you're putting in versus what you're getting back. We all have that friend, or maybe we are that friend, the one who's always the listener, always dishing out advice, always holding the space for everyone else's drama. And hey, that's an amazing quality to have. But it becomes a total overload when that support system is just a one-way street. It is absolutely exhausting to be the emotional backbone for someone who can't or just won't do the same for you. This right here, these are the big red flags. Just think about how you feel after you hang out. Do you leave feeling energized and seen, or do you feel completely depleted? If your phone buzzes with their name and your gut feeling is one of obligation, not excitement, well, you're probably experiencing this overload. A friendship should be a battery, not a black hole for your energy. So just take a second here. Be honest with yourself. In your friendships, is the emotional support a two-way street, or does the weight of it all pretty much always land right on your shoulders? It's a really important question to ask. All right, our final reason is a little more subtle, but it's just as powerful. It's all about how our friends see us, and how that vision, that old snapshot of us, can sometimes keep us from moving forward. They call this identity stagnation, and it's basically what happens when your friends can only see the you from 5, maybe 10 years ago. They have this fixed picture of who you were, and they keep interacting with that picture, not with the person you've actually become. It can honestly feel like you're trapped in a time capsule they won't let you out of. And you'll know this is happening when every single get-together becomes a greatest hits reel of your past mistakes, or that embarrassing story from high school. They don't ask about the new project you're pouring your heart into, or the personal growth journey you're on. You feel this pressure to slip back into that old role, to almost perform as the person you used to be. And man, that is incredibly limiting. So, we've got value drift, emotional overload, and identity stagnation. But it is so important to see that these aren't 3 separate problems. They're all just different symptoms of the same core process. You are evolving. You are simply outgrowing the container that you used to fit so perfectly inside. So, where does that leave us? What do we do with all this? The most important thing, the real game changer, is to reframe how we think about this whole experience. Because evolving is not the same thing as losing. And here is the absolute key. This is not about failure. This is not about pointing fingers or saying old friendships were bad. This is about celebrating your own success. You set out to grow, to learn, to become a different, better version of yourself. And this feeling? This is what that success feels like. It's a sign that you actually did the work. And I'll just leave you with this one final thought to chew on. We are so influenced by the people we spend the most time with, right? So if your inner circle has stayed exactly the same for years and years, with nobody new coming in and nobody drifting out, it's worth asking yourself,
Is that a sign of comfort, or could it be a sign of stagnation?